Okay, let's go.
When you hear the name Mercedes-Benz, you instantly think of luxury, prestige, and engineering excellence. But every now and then, the brand takes things a step further, crafting a vehicle that doesn't just follow the rules of luxury SUVs, but bends them into something new. That's exactly what we have here. The 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLE580 4Matic. This SUV has been described as the Aston Martin of its class, and not because it's the loudest, flashiest option on the road. Quite the opposite. The GLE580 thrives on refinement, subtlety, and hidden muscle. It's the kind of SUV that looks perfectly at home outside a five-star hotel, but can rocket from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds when the mood strikes. In this video, we'll break down everything that makes the GLE580 such a fascinating machine. Its design, its performance, its luxury features, and of course, the value it brings in a market full of high-end rivals. By the end, you'll know whether this is the understated luxury SUV you've been waiting for, or just another pricey toy. Let's dive in. Let's start with the design, because this is where the GLE580 immediately separates itself from its siblings and competitors. At first glance, it doesn't scream performance the way an AMG version might. There are no overly aggressive body kits or oversized spoilers. Instead, the GLE580 whispers luxury in a calm, confident voice. Our test model came dressed in a shade called Côte d'Azur Blue, a paint option that alone costs $6,500. Step inside, and you're greeted by a stunning Yacht Blue Manufaktur leather interior, another $10,600 on top. Add to that the piano black trim with flowing lines, priced at $860, and you start to see a theme here. This SUV isn't just about transportation. It's about creating an atmosphere. The overall vibe feels closer to something you'd expect from Aston Martin's design studio, rather than a family SUV from Mercedes. Every detail, from the stitching on the seats to the way the dashboard curves toward the driver, speaks of craftsmanship. But of course, this level of fashion comes at a price. If those were the only 2 or 3 options you wanted, Mercedes requires you to bundle in packages that can push the total cost of options to nearly $25,000. Luxury, as they say, is never cheap. Still, there's no denying the effect. Park this SUV next to a BMW X5 or a Porsche Cayenne, and the GLE580 doesn't just blend in, it elevates the environment around it. It feels reserved, dignified, and just a little bit special. Of course, design and luxury are only half the story. The real surprise comes when you put your foot down. Under the hood sits a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 paired with a mild hybrid system. On paper, it produces 510 horsepower and a massive 538 pound-feet of torque. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. We expected the GLE580 to perform in line with the AMG GLE53 or perhaps the BMW X5 M60i. What we didn't expect was a 0 to 60 time of just 3.9 seconds. That's quicker than many dedicated sports cars and puts it in the same league as the Porsche Cayenne GTS, and even brushing close to the AMG GLE63. In the quarter mile, it clocked 12.4 seconds at just over 110 miles per hour. And yet, here's the twist. The GLE580 doesn't look or feel like a performance SUV. There are no flared arches or growling exhausts announcing its presence. It's the silent professional, dressed in a tailored suit, who suddenly reveals they know martial arts when the situation calls for it. You get all the performance you'd expect from a high-powered German SUV, but without the constant reminder that you're driving a performance car. That said, you do feel the weight. At over 5,300 pounds, the GLE580 isn't light on its feet. Push it hard into corners, and while it remains composed, it doesn't feel nimble. Braking from 60 to 0 takes 110 feet, which is respectable, but again reminds you this is a big, heavy machine. Handling aligns more with the Cayenne S than with the sharper, sportier AMG 63. For most owners, though, this balance will feel perfect. 99% of the time, the GLE580 is calm, smooth, and luxurious. But on the rare occasion you press the accelerator deep into its travel, it reveals just how much firepower is hiding under that sophisticated exterior. Now, let's talk about comfort and features, because this is where the GLE580 spoils you. Slide into the driver's seat and you're immediately greeted by some of the softest leather in the business. Turn on the seat massagers. Yes, they offer 11 different massage programs, and you'll quickly forget you're sitting in a vehicle capable of hitting 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. Add in the scent dispenser that fills the cabin with subtle fragrances, and you start to understand why Mercedes-Benz calls this SUV the luxury benchmark of the lineup. Even the floor mats are a detail worth mentioning, with a carpet pile so deep and soft it tempts you to take off your shoes and drive barefoot. These little touches might seem minor, but they add up to create an environment of true indulgence. But here's the catch. Some of the basics you'd expect at this price point are either optional or not available at all. Heated rear seats? That'll be another $580. Rear side window sunshades, same story. Rear seat ventilation isn't even on the menu, and the seat backs don't recline. For a vehicle that can easily top $120,000, that feels like a misstep. Another gripe is the infotainment screens at night. They're simply too bright, even after adjusting the settings, which can be distracting on long night drives. Small issues, perhaps, but when you're shopping in this price range, small issues matter. So where does that leave us? At a base price of $91,250, the GLE580 is already a serious investment. Option it out like our test model, and you're looking at $122,910. That's deep into Porsche Cayenne and Range Rover Sport territory. For that money, you get an SUV that delivers a rare combination, understated luxury with shocking straight-line performance. You get the refinement of a true luxury cruiser paired with the capability to embarrass sports cars at stoplights. And yet, it doesn't shout about it. There's no flashy bodywork, no oversized badges, just quiet confidence. On the downside, Mercedes does nickel and dime you on features that really should be standard at this price. And yes, the vehicle feels heavy, reminding you that even with all this power, physics can't be cheated. But if you're the type of buyer who wants all the prestige and performance without the constant attention that comes with an AMG or a Cayenne Turbo, the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLE580 4Matic hits a sweet spot in the lineup. It's the perfect choice for those who value refinement first and foremost, but still want the reassurance that their luxury SUV can truly hustle when the moment calls for it.